was just talking about something which is about rubbish here, and in the other video I mentioned about how there's a hill where they cut natural bricks from there, dry them out, and then we use them to build the houses here at Featherstale. And I was saying that inside that hill you could bury the rubbish inside. And that's a solution short term until humanity gets to a point where they use degradable plastic. Degradable plastic can be made using a different type of oil other than the stuff that they're using for making it at the moment. They make plastics from hemp oil, and I believe from what I've read that there was a time where we only used hemp oil to make plastic, and all that plastic pretty much is degraded. So it is biodegradable, so it's degraded now because it's not lasting forever like the other plastics we're making now. Now the reason for that is, as always, resource manipulation. You know, we can't have an abundant crop like hemp growing on the planet because it's going to take away the resources. Okay, it's going to provide new resources which takes away the value of the current limited resources from things like crude oil. We all hear about these stories of free energy being manipulated and bought out so as people have to keep buying into the current system. Because until the elite who own the crude oil system and own the power structure by limiting those resources to people, etc., to have their wealth and their power, find a way to control the free energy that allows them to control society, then we're not going to get access to that. So one of the things we can do as humanity to force this hand, to force that, is to create a canvas on Earth. This is how I see it. To create a canvas on Earth by which we can produce enough hemp to start doing oils. Now hemp grows fast, and you can regrow crops several times a year in most climates. You can use hemp to produce plastic. If you can do that on the planet, you first of all need to free up farming space. So where do you free up the farming space? Well, the number one thing that anyone can do in the West who eat meat is stop eating livestock like cattle and beef and stuff like this. Pigs will be included in there as well. The reason being is the feed for livestock is taking up most of the farmland on the planet. Not only that, but the feed for livestock is the number one cause of deforestation on the planet as well. So you're cutting down trees to provide enough calories to make a cow very fat, to provide a less amount of calories than what a human being would have needed from the crop to start with, from say soy or something like that. So, oh, there's a tractor having trouble here next to me. So if you were to just purely go for plant crops as your main calorie source, like I do, and like many others do, and you can be healthy and strong, and you don't need to worry about things like heart disease caused by the cholesterol and fats in animal products, and before anyone questions whether animal products cause that problem, you should simply ask why the head of the Heart Foundation in America, which is the largest one on the planet, is a vegan. And he is a vegan because of research proving that the heart problems we deal with are from consumption of animal products, proteins and fats, etc. So, here's the thing. If we stop buying into cattle, beef, flesh, meat, bones, we stop eating that rubbish, and we just eat the plants that Earth can provide, we create, first of all, the ability to stop felling trees for our calorie source, which means we protect the planet for the children that we all love here on Earth, if we are parents, or indeed perhaps our nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, whoever. We protect the planet for them. That's the first point that you get from not eating beef and causing the felling of trees. But you also create the environment where we can start regrowing those areas with agroforestry. So those areas of forest which are now completely ruined, you can regrow them so they're in line with the ecosystem, but they're also now producing food for humanity for our future generations. So our rainforests become slightly different and adapted to what they were naturally, but they also provide enough food in those areas and the natural habitat for the animals, for humanity. And for the animals, everyone's a winner. How do you do it? You stop feeding the crops to the animals. If you're feeding the animals so you can eat the meat to get less calories than what you would eat by eating the soy that you're feeding to the animals, then, you know, it's a win-win situation. You can't just constantly ignore that that's a reality on Earth. And if we do that, and we free up enough land, oh, it's getting a bit dark here in Featherstonhaugh. We free up enough land. Then when the land is free, we can start planting things like hemp crops. We can start making demands as a collective that things like that are done. But at the moment, if someone said, well, we need to replace it with hemp, they would say, well, there's not enough farmland to grow hemp to produce all the plastic needs of the planet. Well, there is if everyone stops eating beef. So you can save the planet by shifting your diet is a major step. You can't be an environmentalist. You cannot be an environmentalist if you're still contributing to the #1 cause of environmental destruction on the planet, which is the consumption of dairy and meat. That's the #1 cause of environmental destruction on Earth. Not only that, but you add to the suffering that's present on Earth. We farm animals, as we all know, and they suffer. They suffer for what? So we can eat them, and you don't need them in your diet. You do not need them. There is not a single nutrient that is in an animal that you can't get from a plant. The reason the nutrients are inside the animals is because because the plants that you can eat, the animals have already eaten. So you're getting the second-hand nutrients. They've processed it from the plants and passing it on to you. There's nothing in there that you can't get from plants. Otherwise, where did they get them from to start with? And as I say, the suffering aspect, you cut out the suffering. Nobody wants to see things die and suffer, you know. No one wants to see footage of a cow trying to dodge the bolt gun inside the slaughterhouse. It's sick. It's vile. Why would you contribute to that? And then you get these, before anyone says it, you get these bizarre people who say, well, plants feel pain too. If you believe that, and that is within your paradigm of you eating food, and you worry that plants feel pain, that's why you eat meat, you have to kill more plants to fatten up the meat so you can eat the meat. So if that is your response, you have to then stop eating meat, then you don't cause harm to as many plants, and you don't cause harm to the animal. You cause harm to less plants. Now the only other option outside of there is you die from caloric deficiency, because we all know it's stupid to say plants feel pain. And I think that is just very clear to the whole world. But if you do think that if plants feel such pain that that vegans shouldn't eat them, then you eating meat means that you have to feed more plants to the cow or the pig than what you would by just eating the plants. So you're talking bullshit, ultimately, to those people who throw that out there. What you need to do is accept the reality of your planet. And the reality of your planet is we need solutions to the problems. I love my children, and I'm always thinking of solutions for the planet's woes. And the thing is, we can see them, and many of us can. We just need people to start listening. And I think once I get Featherstonhaugh operating as a fully vegan community, an eco-village, vegan children's village is what it will be. A vegan eco-children's village is what we are building here, and this is what I've built up to now. And it will all run from the earth, and everyone will be vegan and everyone will be healthy. And when I can do that and show people, then hopefully people can learn from not just from what I say, but from the actions of my life. And this is my hope and my dream for Featherstonhaugh. I protect the children that I've come to love and call my own. I provide shelter for those in need in the communities around me that I've come to love and feel that I'm part of. But also, I get to get the message into the Western consciousness about humanity's present situation with the climate and with diet, and how your choices are destroying the planet for the children I love. And that's why I won't stop speaking to you about it. And I see it firsthand here in the tropical climates. You see the issues that are going on. And a lot of people say climate change is a hoax. I don't know what climate change is fully. I'm kind of torn because I've read a lot about various different parts of the science. Of course, climate change is happening. The reasons behind that, it seems logical that when you have an ecosystem built with plants and running water and stuff like that, and then you take away vast percentages of those plants every single year, and the water becomes dirty because you're using all these stupid things to get free power, then of course you're going to upset the workings of Earth here. You're going to upset it because it's one living organism, and you can't just keep taking parts away from her. She's a loving mother and she'll always love you, but if you push her too far, she'll have to give up on you. And that's what I aim to try and stop from happening. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. But this is a solution to plastics, is to grow hemp. But current market, people would say there's no space to grow the hemp. Stop eating beef, and then we have the space to grow the hemp where you're growing crops to feed your beef. Simple. Very, very simple and effective solutions to change this planet forever. So as humanity can live as part of the ecosystem where it used to live when we were tribes people. As people used to live here before the West came and told them they need all this development. And many people got forgotten in amongst that tornado of nonsense that they brought to this continent. Many great things came out of that, but we need to fine tweak it now. Medical care and stuff like that came, which has saved countless lives and countless suffering here. It's amazing. However, now it needs tweaking. It needs to be, the systems need to be in place where we seek free energy and where we educate our children how to seek free energy sources, and we educate our children that #1 priority is staying in line with the ecosystem of the planet, not to be something external from it that tries to beat it into submission. And this is how I teach my children, and this is how I speak, and this is how I will always teach here in Tanzania. And hopefully one day, when we open a school, that's exactly what I'll teach in the school as well. Hopefully one day, I'll even influence the government to start teaching that in their schools. But one step at a time, eh? So, okay. Feeling enthusiastic today, as you might be able to see. Much love, guys. Bye.